give a warm welcome to the hosts of The Bride of Alternate Ending.
Why don't you just sit down a spell, ghouls and goblins? Welcome to Bride of Alternate Ending. Can I get you anything? Maybe some sweet tea? I'm your ghost for the evening, Brennan Klein. And with me, as always, child, is my co-ghost, Tim Brayton. How you doing today, Tim?
Brandon, well, I'm just about as fun as an alligator and a patch of corn pone. How you doing?
Oh my God, you're just blowing me right out of the water.
I too practiced before we started because I knew where you were going.
Thank you. And I can only do waitress in the Southern accent. That's all I can do.
That's fine. I can do trying for Cajun, but missing by far enough that I haven't embarrassed myself because it sounds like I wasn't trying at all.
Okay,
So.
I think that's probably for the best. Anyway, the reason we are doing this is the horror sideshow alternate ending. As we do basically every year, we are digging the skeletons out of the closet of people who were nominated for Oscars this year. We put it up to a vote on the Patreon, and the Patreon members, for reasons that I'm curious about, have selected for us to talk about The Skeleton Key. It is a 2005 motion picture starring Kate Hudson, who is nominated this year for Song Sung Blue, and it's set in Louisiana in the swamps. And
that is, for what it's worth, a terrible Southern accent, but a very good Jenna Rollins in The Skeleton Key accent.
Thank you. Okay, so I had not seen this movie before, but had you experienced The Skeleton Key?
I will tip my hand a little bit and say that if I had previously seen The Skeleton Key, I would not have allowed it to be placed on our poll.
Okay, good to know. Okay, but so The Skeleton Key came out in 2005. You were, I think, reviewing movies on the blog around that
That was the
point.
first year, but I hadn't yet hit the cadence of trying to review every single movie that came out.
Yes.
That's more of a 2007 era thing, I think.
Okay, so but you were like an actual film critic writing things, or at least
was I an actual film critic, or did I just have a blog? But yes, by 2005, by the time this movie was released, yes, Antagony and Ecstasy, long may its name be remembered, did exist.
Great. So is this something that was on your radar in 2005 as a movie that you missed?
I certainly knew it was around. Again, I wasn't at that point in time trying to see everything. Certainly every junk-ass horror film that came out, I was not trying to see. So I wouldn't have said that I perceived it as a thing I should have seen and missed.
Okay.
But I did know it was coming out. I do remember it being a factor in life.
Okay. Well, see, that's more than what I have, because I was in 5th grade in 2005. I was not keeping up with the latest Kate Hudson movies. I was not keeping up with the latest Southern Gothic horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a movie that I'm at least aware of exists as a DVD cover. I, for a long time, worked at a used media store, and I have touched many a Blockbuster copy of The Skeleton Key. So I at least have the vision of it as a movie that exists. So I was kind of curious about it. I didn't really know that much about it. The second I realized, this is a legitimate attempt to do a Southern Gothic kind of Jane Eyre in Louisiana kind of thing, I was really curious about it. Especially because 2005 is not really a time for that. We were doing a lot of, like, torture porn was on the rise. We're doing a lot of remakes around the time. I guess it's like maybe kind of coming in the wake of like Eve's Bayou is like where this is coming from.
You know, I would say even as late as like 2006, 2007, this would feel very anachronistic. 2005, I don't think horror knows what it is. So it's, I think, kind of makes a little bit more sense in that context as we just need to do stuff. We need to figure out whatever kind of stuff we're going to make movies out of. And it's as plausible a way to answer that question as a lot of things that came out in 2005, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I was just like, I was really curious about it, but the thing that immediately murdered my curiosity was seeing the name Aaron Kruger in the opening credits.
Yeah, missed that until I was watching it. which I think does actually kind of answer the question, what is this? And the answer is, in some twisted studio executive way, this is cashing in on the 2002 release of The Ring.
Yeah, this is Aaron. We're talking about screenwriter Aaron Kruger. Yeah, this is his blank check after The Ring. You're totally right. And I guess
don't know if it's his blank check so much as he's now the guy you hire for stories about malevolent, revenge-seeking ghosts. But
I guess so. I
hope this wasn't his blank check.
I mean, it feels so different from what we've gotten from him. Even though, like you said, it is in that revenge-seeking ghost kind of mold, but it reminds me more of, oh fuck, what is the name of that Bette Davis Southern Gothic movie we did when we were doing Hagsploitation? I can never remember.
Did we do Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte?
Yes, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. This reminded me so much more of that than The Ring.
I mean, what it reminded me of was The Turn of the Screw.
Oh, of course. Yes, that too.
Yeah, just to make sure that we read that into the record. It's basically an adaptation of The Turn of the Screw.
Yeah, it kind of is, except the ghost thing is like such a back burner element. And obviously, spoiler alert, this isn't a ghost movie, but it's dressed up as a ghost movie. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to think that maybe there are ghosts floating around for a long time. No, but it really is The Turn of the Screw. Like, very much down to she's not a governess, but she basically is a governess.
Right. She's a governess for old people instead of for young people.
Yeah, which we should get into the plot. So, insofar as there is one, Kate Hudson, now an Oscar nominee. Has she been before?
Already at this point, she'd already been nominated for Almost Famous.
Yes, of course. Okay. But yeah, she plays a character named Caroline Ellis. She works in hospice. She does not like the hospice care center where she works. It's a little too callous about just it's a business. They're getting people in, getting people out, into the grave. But she takes a job out in the swamps. It's a live-in position as a hospice care nurse for a man who is recovering from a stroke. He is dying. And she is there to take care of him. And he's essentially the anchor for why she stays and doesn't immediately leave when things are really twisted, and not really twisted, but just like things are not right.
Right. Nothing about this movie is really twisted. It's very much like things are oogier than they ought be, even considering that this is a house in a swamp.
Yes, exactly. So there's the guy who's kind of in charge of getting her this job is a lawyer played by Peter Sarsgaard, who was also floating around horror a lot during the time. Mm-hmm. He basically gets her the job in spite of the fact that the woman who's married to the comatose man, he's not comatose, he's just recovering, he's nonverbal. He's like he's in a near vegetative state.
Yeah, he had a stroke on both sides, as we're told.
Mm-hmm. In the attic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Gina Rollins is not into this woman, and so they immediately have this kind of combative relationship where it seems like, oh, maybe it's like this woman doesn't want another person caring for her husband, but then you're like, oh, she's got a strange locked room up in her attic that might contain some sinister secrets. And Kate Hudson wants to know what they are, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, and Kate Hudson encounters the skeleton key somewhere in all of this. Although, given that the title of the film is The Skeleton Key, was expecting that particular prop to have a more centrally focused purpose.
Yes,
than it ended up having.
You mean you did not expect her to just be handed the skeleton key at the beginning of the movie?
Right? And just like told, this is your key. We don't have another spare. Enjoy. It doesn't unlock the attic. Go.
Yeah, that was peculiar. I will say it's clear that they knew this movie was called The Skeleton Key because there are a lot of shots of like the key entering the lock, and it's like a cool close-up of like the tumbler being moved by the key. And what if we saw Kate Hudson through a keyhole and that kind of thing? Anyway, that's kind of it. We'll get to more spoiler territory of what's actually happening, but that it's so okay.
It's a boring movie.
It's really boring.
I'm just gonna say that it's a boring movie. It is. I was watching the clock very closely because I was wondering how it was possible that this movie was 5 hours long when it was clearly an hour and 44 minutes long, whatever it was.
Yeah, I feel like every time I paused it, there were 50 minutes left.
Right? It's like 50 minutes into the film before there is the smallest indication that there's anything wrong with this house other than that the old lady is cranky.
Yeah. And then beyond that, her investigations don't yield much until, or maybe they don't ever yield enough, honestly.
I don't think they ever yield anything, no. I think the main thing is that she finds out that there aren't mirrors, and more to spite Gina Rowlands than for any other reason, she puts up a mirror, Kate Hudson does. And then makes Rowlands really mad.
Yeah, honestly,
and it's like a big old plot point.
Yeah, honestly, she is a really shitty employee to this woman, and I know that Gina Rowlands is like not that happy with her, but she does once she's in the house kind of like extend a hand towards her and try to connect with her on some level. And Kate Hudson kind of instantly hates this woman, long before she has any reason to suspect that maybe she is Munchausen by proxying her husband or like something peculiar.
Anything, just anything to suspect. Like there's just such a long stretch of this movie where it's just an old house and she's in it.
Yeah.
And maybe only because we know it's a horror film because we bought our tickets or whatever to see a horror film, do we have any sense that this isn't just like a documentary about watching someone in an old house.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this house is also really boring.
The house is not a character.
No, and it needs to be. It is screaming to become a character. But the second we get the exterior wide shot of the house, I'm like, oh, that's just kind of a square. Okay.
It's just a house. It's just an old plantation house that was composited into the bayou. It is actually just like on a street, apparently. Because that's the other. This was shot on location, so it's like it's a house.
Yeah.
And it's not a set. And I think maybe what I learned here is that even though saying, well, that looks like a set is typically an insult, maybe it needed to be at least a little bit more of a set and a little bit less of a well-preserved plantation house, because if it were a set, they could have made it creepy.
Yeah.
And instead it's just old.
Yeah, like basically I have a high culture and a low culture kind of platonic ideal of what this kind of house needs to look like.
Sure.
It needs to look like it's Hill House in The Haunting, or Eelmarsh House in the remake of The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe. Okay. I need this to be crumbling, tumble down, a rambling pile full of bric-a-brac and garbage, and maybe there's like cracks in the walls that vines are coming out of. Like, I need, just
something.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I hadn't even clocked it necessarily. There aren't like props.
No, it's just very kind of smooth
the house
and
is
empty.
The house is not cluttered. There's not stuff in it. There's not like I mean, obviously we can't always want or have a movie where like she opens the door and there's an old dressmaker's dummy with a terrifying face on it. Like, that's cheesy. But like, that's something, and there's not anything. It's just a kind of empty house.
Yeah, and speaking of bad adaptations of The Turn of the Screw, that movie The Turning did this better. And it had a creepy room full of mannequins.
One hesitates to use the phrase "The Turning did X better" relative to any other motion picture, but you're not wrong.
Yeah. No, it's just all that this house has is just walls, a table.
All that it has is being visibly old, and it is visibly old.
Yeah, it looks old. There's almost something in that it is very squared off. And then there's kind of a thing that they set up that doesn't really come of anything, but each of the doors has a lock, so it's kind of like, it feels like, I think they want it to be like these rooms are like isolated chambers that are just these like cubes that are their own individual space, but it just does not happen that way.
I think you're right that was what they were trying for, and it does not play. I did not really get a sense of the internal geography of the house. I didn't get a sense even that caring about the internal geography was going to pay off for me.
No, and you were correct.
Yeah.
Also, the attic just seems to be a room on the top floor of the house. Do they
Right.
go upstairs? Like, cause there's like 2 doors to the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a stairwell that I just kind of phased out of my brain?
I mean, there surely must be,
I suppose.
insofar as that is how one accesses an attic. But if you're asking, was there a scene where we like see Kate Hudson from above as she's like slowly crawling her way up the stairs? No.
No,
There's not like a dramatic use of stairs.
no. God, there's not much of a dramatic use of anything except for keyholes, like I said, but it doesn't really
Pretty much.
come to much.
And kind of mirrors. I mean, the mirror thing is they're at least trying to do a scene with mirrors.
Yes. I gotta say though, there is a scene where she discovers that all the mirrors have been covered in sheets in the attic by dramatically pulling the sheet off a mirror and revealing that it is a mirror and showing herself. That should have been a jump scare. It wasn't.
It should have been. Well, is there a single jump scare in this movie?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think there is. And you know, what it sort of strikes me, and it is a horror movie. Like you look at the ingredients, you look at where the plot goes, you have got to consider this a horror movie. It's not even like it's ashamed to be a horror movie. It doesn't seem to be aware that it's a horror movie. Like you used the phrase Southern Gothic before, and I think it wants to be a Southern Gothic in the sense that it wants to be a movie about like an old house being big and oppressive and rambly, but it doesn't want to be scary. And so it's just not. And so it's just passing up opportunity after opportunity to do anything atmospheric, to do anything scary, to do anything that like triggers any kind of emotional response on the level of she's in danger because there's a malevolent, whether human or astral presence. There is no malevolent force animating this movie.
No, there's really not. Because you're right. It doesn't seem to. Yeah, like it's not aware it's a horror movie. I think the thing it thinks it is kind of a tete-a-tete between Gina Rowlands and Kate Hudson, and that's where I think it works most often. But it's also not really very good at being that.
It's not good at being that, and I think I do agree though that it does work there when it works, which I think is less because it's working as a tete-a-tete and more because the thing that this movie has that is in any way satisfying is Gina Rowlands' performance.
Yes, I am inclined to agree with you. And I think they've assembled a pretty solid cast in general.
Cast. It's a for sure solid cast. Kate Hudson is still like a thing we care about at this point. Peter Sarsgaard is like an interesting, slightly edgy actor. John Hurt plays the comatose or, impaired husband, which I kept assuming that was going to pay off in some sense where like there'd be a scene where we needed a John Hurt level actor, and we did not get one.
Yeah, I completely agree because I was like, well, you don't cast John Hurt to play a vegetable. And I was like, oh, guess you do.
Turns out you do. Well, there's like the scene where he's standing in the rain and kind of making moaning noises.
Yeah, and he has a pretty good...
There's the bathtub
Yeah, that's
scene.
what I was going to say. I was going to say the bathtub scene.
The bathtub scene's the only time you need like anything like a name actor at all. And you certainly don't need a John Hurt.
No, it's wild. Although, British actors will do anything if you throw a paycheck at them.
That's very true. That's very, very true.
I guess glad he didn't have to try to have a Southern accent in this movie.
I mean, I think he would not have had the film's worst Southern accent if he did try, for what it is worth.
Oh, whose do you think is the worst?
I mean, Rollins is not good.
She's not,
It's
but
delightful,
it's plummy,
but it's not
yeah.
good. She, I think, has figured out that this isn't good. And maybe they all figured out that it wasn't good, because I feel it's probably pretty obvious that it's not good. She is the one who doesn't have any sort of, like... She's invulnerable, in a way, because I think she knows that she will continue being Jenna Rollins after the shoot is done, no matter what. And Sarsgaard and Hudson are, like, their careers are in fragile places in 2005. Like, they can't afford to look like morons in a bad movie. Rollins is just having a good time.
Yeah, and she's also kind of high off the Notebook at this point. I don't know if
That's true. That was the year prior.
Yeah. I don't know where she filmed those relative to each other or whatever, but she was kind of in her kind of resurgence era. What should I know Gina Rowlands from? Because I know her from the Notebook specifically.
I mean, she is the main muse/wife. I think they were married until his death. She was married to John Cassavetes.
Oh, okay.
Was in several of his films, notably A Woman Under the Influence and Opening Night.
Got it.
I would say. So she's like a very, very important actor in the 70s in a certain mode of hypernaturalism.
Got it. Okay.
So she's like a proper major actress.
Yeah, and I think that shows. And she's obviously, slumming it in this movie, but she's having a good time.
Oh, she's having a great time. And, you're her age in 2005. You've proven everything you can conceivably need to prove. Just enjoy chawing down on that goofy ass accent.
Yeah, the Skeleton Key is not going to get you an Oscar nomination.
Right.
But yeah, so I guess that's nice. I think Kate Hudson shows certain sparks when she has to have conflict with Gina Rollins. I think that the character is just really poorly written, though.
Characters poorly written, poorly conceived. I do think to start by accentuating the positive, I think what we're seeing is one of those things. And for all I know, this is why Kate Hudson signs up on the project. I have no idea how this project evolves in its pre-life. But you see examples of someone who's in Kate Hudson's position, and I'm going to quickly remind myself of her age at this point. But Almost Famous is 5 years before this. She becomes like a major force. Yeah, she's 26. All right, so wow. That's young. So she's an up and coming star. She hasn't really had the second film yet. Like Almost Famous was a huge deal for her, but I mean, she's still kind of looking for. She's been in Alex and Emma. She's been in Le Divorce. She's been in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be a big one, but she's maybe also that's not one that's gonna make you an actor.
It's not gonna make you an actor. It's gonna make you like a bankable performer in movies. And obviously that's not anything to sneeze at, but look at her pedigree, right? I mean, she's Goldie Hawn's kid. She's clearly got something she needs to live up to here. And I think what happens to actors who have ambition at that point in their career, I can open a movie, but I'm not really getting the critical respect. They start figuring out ways that they can like latch on to real actors, quote unquote, to like learn from them. And you see this with like Tom Cruise in The Color of Money, right? When he's about 5 years into his career, he's had a couple big I'm a sexy young guy hits, but he wants clearly to star opposite Paul Newman. And I think Kate Hudson wants to star opposite Gina Rollins, and that's why I think she wakes up in those scenes, and I would say only those scenes, frankly.
Perhaps, yes. But yeah, she does have this kind of flinty edge that I like when she is being combative with that character. Yeah. Like this character is so Kate Hudson's character is just so empty. And she's interesting in that she recognizes issues quickly and responds to them, or at least points them out that they exist. But to a degree that I think is like, I just don't think this character is very smart.
She's not, this is not a gesture that I think the film expected me to respond to the way I did, but I mean, that's the film's fault. The first thing we learn about this character, the very first thing that happens, she's reading Treasure Island, I think.
Yeah.
To this elderly man in hospice. He's dying. He's listening to her working her way through Treasure Island as he passes off this mortal coil, which who could want a smoother, pleasanter than that, right? But so her job is like, it's kind of unclear what her job is, but she's in this moment, at least, at the hospice or the nursing home, kind of accompanying people to death and trying to keep them calm and letting them know that someone's there.
She's basically the cat in the nursing home.
She's the nursing home cat. And so she finds out that this man has no family who is still speaking to him, so they're just going to have to dispose of his belongings. And she finds this so outrageous, this lack of humanity. That's why she leaves. And I have worked at a nursing home. My mother worked at a nursing home for a very long time. And one of the things that is like immediately clear, if you're going to survive in that environment, you just let it be the case that we're going to have people dying here a lot.
Yeah.
And you can't be sad, because if you are sad when old people die at a nursing home, you will spend every minute of your life sad. And so we're meant to, I think, understand that she's like righteously upset at these people for just being like, well, we now have a problem to solve. The problem is this guy's stuff. In the dumpster it goes. And like, I kind of am already not on her side, because it's like, I mean, I'm sorry that you're a sensitive soul. Don't do this line of work.
Yeah, it's kind of unrealistic. And she's specifically a hospice nurse.
Right.
That's like your whole job.
The job is being around people who are there to die. And I'm not saying she needs to be like cracking jokes about the dead guy, but also like you just can't be a sensitive person. I'm not sensitive in that way.
Yeah,
you know?
like
so like I'm already I'm not buying this character from like scene number 1.
Yeah, and I guess because they want that to be the setup to her kind of being this kind of righteous defender, avenging angel for this this husband character, and protect him from his wife, who she suspects is
which doesn't even really matter. Like,
no,
I guess at some point they probably had a note saying, why doesn't she just leave the house? What is the audience meant to understand is the reason she's not leaving the house? And so it was like, well, we're going to make sure we understand that she's someone who just wants to be there with the sick and dying. But it's not like activated in the script.
No.
She's just there and she just doesn't leave. I don't think she has any kind of relationship to the John Hurt character.
I kind of agree. I was thinking that question of, okay, why doesn't she leave? Because she's not financially destitute. Mm-hmm. She theoretically maybe still has an apartment in the city too, with her friend. I don't really know what that situation is.
The friend is still like in the picture all the way to the end of the movie.
Yeah. And there's a part where Kate Hudson is listening to this mysterious evil record that she finds in the attic, and she's doing it at that apartment. And the friend kind of walks in. So I'm like, I think she lives there still, like, or at least is maybe paying rent. And she just, it's not like this was her last chance job. She quit her job and found this one. It just doesn't, there's just no reason for her to be there.
She quit her job and walked into this one. It's not even yeah. I don't know, just rocky. It's not a good script. It's a bad script. It's an Aaron Kruger bad script.
It is.
It is a script from the co-author of Transformers: Rise of the Fallen.
Yeah. I mean, look, Aaron Kruger has his moments. I think The Ring is pretty great. I don't remember much about the screenplay specifically.
I mean, all he's doing is adjusting a translated version of the Japanese script into English.
Yeah, not that hard.
I mean, it's more than that. It's more than that.
Yeah. But anyway, so like I'm not saying he's like the world's worst screenwriter, but most of the time when I see him attached to a project, and specifically a horror project, I kind of have to side eye it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a single one of his credits that like leaps out to me as like, I liked that and I liked it because it had a good screenplay.
Oh, yeah.
Like my favorite film to which he has been attached is Top Gun Maverick, and the screenplay might not be in the top 10 things I like about Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh my god, yeah. But so there's just, this screenplay is not setting up the bones of a story, and these characters are kind of collapsing. And then they just kind of float around being vaguely suspicious of one another or mean to each other, and it just goes and goes and goes. And even sorry, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Just even when we do see what's in the attic, it's just like, oh, it's full of generic, random, creepy shit. Like, it's just not. It just never, except for maybe the last like 2 minutes, it never rises above being this like really staid, boring, turn of the screw, Jane Eyre, but 2005.
The way it resolves, the last couple of minutes work. They deserved a better film to get us to them, but I think they are working on the terms they're supposed to work on. I will say that.
Yeah. It's got a good, it's a good kick you in the pants on the way out of the theater.
I think so.
And
I think it's, yeah.
It unequivocally belongs to a horror movie.
Yes, definitely. That's the thing. It is a horror movie. It has to be. Like there's just no other place you can categorize where this story goes. And, one of the other things that I wanted to call out, we've been talking Aaron Kruger this, Aaron Kruger that, because he's certainly a name to make anyone's skin shudder when they see it. The director of this film,
Oh yes, Ian Softly.
Ian, who can say softly, he is someone who had, prior to this is his 5th feature film, he had directed Backbeat, which is a biopic about the Young Beatles, Hackers, which is an internet thriller starring Angelina Jolie in her very early career, The Wings of the Dove, the one with Helena Bonham Carter, and K-Pax, the failed Oscar bait Kevin Spacey as a gentle alien movie.
Ew.
So he is a prestige Oscar bait style director. He is specifically, because I think by far the biggest hit any of those films had made was The Wings of the Dove. He's a literary director. And I think that's how this is being directed. It's, again, maybe they're thinking as it's kind of the turn of the screw, let's get someone who can do English literature. But he's treating it like he wants it to be this kind of literary battle of wills, and not like he wants it to be a movie about a creepy house with haunted mirrors.
Yeah, but even if you're doing a literary adaptation of this, that's called The Innocents, and it's pretty good, you know?
Right? No, I mean, I'm not defending his directing. I'm saying it at least to me kind of gives me a path to understand, because I don't understand why this movie isn't scarier, or at least not even trying to be scarier. It's not scary because it's bad, but like it's not attempting to be a good horror film.
No, literally the scariest moment is when Kate Hudson gets soap in her eye when she's bathing John Hurt. It's not attempting or accomplishing anything in the genre that it so clearly belongs in and is in. It's fascinating as a study of how to fail at being a horror movie.
Right. And like that's what I just don't get about it. And more than any other thing, that's my response here is like, there's a path through this. There's a way of making the very generic, junky jump scares version of this. It's not imaginative and it's not admirable, but like we have the blueprint for making this exact movie.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's not doing that. And that's what I just am grappling with and failing to grapple with.
Yeah, and it's just like, I think it could have gotten away with being this boring if it had atmosphere. It just doesn't. It's so smooth and featureless and endless.
It's so slow. It's such a slow movie. And like you say, there is just no atmosphere. This old house just feels old. It does not feel old and haunted. It does not feel old and creepy or mysterious. The lack of lighting does not read as like there are secrets here. It just reads as like it's old, so there's not electricity.
Yeah. Oh, also, the other thing that it's doing, other than like kind of turn of the screw stuff, is trying to bring to life the racial animus of the American South. Which was another. It's really adding insult to injury that they were really trying to rub your faces in that, because they were not prepared.
They thought they had a thing, and I think maybe with a sufficient number of rewrites, it might have been a thing, but it's not working.
No.
And it's almost like calling attention to the degree that it's not working. There's a specific moment. And can we go ahead and start in the spoilery part?
Yeah, let's do it.
So there's voodoo ghosts.
There are voodoo ghosts, or at least voodoo spirit. They're possessing.
They're possessing.
Yeah.
And there's a point where the woman's spirit complains that she wanted the body of a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that is not a line this movie has earned the right to use.
No.
By this point in its development.
No. Although, a line that I think would appear in a Jordan Peele, like a post-Jordan Peele horror movie, is the next line, go ahead. Which is basically like, so it's these two voodoo practitioners from the long past are continually finding new young bodies to implant their souls into.
And it is implied that they were showing voodoo practice to the white children of this house, as a sort of playful, nothing is terribly serious, like we're not going to show you any malign black magics here, but the white parents freaked out so hard that they lynched the black couple.
Yes.
Is basically how I understood. So now they are getting revenge, but at the time they were not. They were not like trying to be evil.
Oh no, I completely disagree. I think that
Okay.
that is what we were supposed to understand when we first learned the flashback. But I think what actually happened is that the two black servants who are voodoo practitioners put their souls in the bodies of the kids. And the kids were thus swapped into the bodies of the servants, and they were the ones who were lynched.
Oh, I missed that because I was by that point really not paying attention.
Yeah, so that's what happened, and I think Gina Rollins and John Hurt are the older versions of those kids.
Right. Right. That part, yes.
And now they're trying to transfer their souls. Like it's the voodoo practitioner servants who are in their bodies, and they're finding new younger people to transfer into.
Yeah, no, that part I got. That part I for sure got.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think that's why she's saying, "Oh, I wish I had a black body," because she is a black woman.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay, got it.
I'm just saying it makes the film about race in a way that this film, as construed by the time that line rolls up, has not earned.
No,
I think a movie could have earned that line.
Yes.
This movie did not earn that line.
No, it didn't. But yeah, what I'm saying is the response to her wishing she had a black body would belong in a post-Jordan Peele movie, because he's like, look, when we hire black women, they never stick around. They see everything's creepy and they get the fuck out of there. And like I think that would belong in this kind of modern conversation. But like everything else is, ooh, it's very icky and wrong and weird, and it's just like, yeah, no, these are just evil black voodoo people. And they want to destroy your beautiful, untainted white body.
Yeah.
With their evil magic. It's something.
It's something, and again, I think there's a way this could have worked, but it needed to be addressed a lot farther back in the production of this movie, or pre-production, rather.
Yes. Yeah, I honestly would have said maybe in pre-production we could have just scrapped the whole thing, threw it on a bonfire, we'd all be better off.
For sure.
Gina Rollins could have done a southern accent in anything. It didn't have
They
to
could
be
have
this.
they could have just redone Suddenly Last Summer. Can you imagine her in Suddenly Last Summer?
Oh my god, of course. Yeah, they should have, and this was the time to do remakes of the most random shit.
It's weird that they never did remake Suddenly Last Summer, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think they did.
Not to my knowledge. There are some random ass remakes floating around though. Anyway, that is really all I have to say about the Skeleton Key. Are we missing anything?
We are here because of Miss Kate Hudson recently given her second Oscar nomination. I feel like I want to spend just a couple more minutes specifically on her performance. It's not good. and I don't know that I have a lot to say about it other than like, because this is her skeleton in the closet. I will say that I think she is closer to being good than Sarsgaard is.
Yeah, Sarsgaard is adrift.
Fully asleep. He does not care for the script. He knows that he can get away without caring because he's only in like 5 scenes.
Yeah.
Rollins, as we've said, is having a blast. She's just camping up a storm. We love to see it. John Hurt may or may not have realized he was on camera. It is very difficult to tell. And it doesn't matter because his character does not do anything at all. But Hudson is, I think, load-bearing, and she is not up to the task of doing that. And I think there is a level of... she has not developed the toolkit to deal with a character that doesn't exist on the page. And I think that's what we're seeing, because she was very adept and charming and good and Almost Famous, but here this character does not make sense. Her background just seems very chaotically mismanaged. Her motivations are not really present in the movie. And I think Hudson is trying to just have like a kind of like gritted jaw. I'm serious because I care about old people. It's like the thing she's hanging on to, and it's not enough.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want you to be right. I want her to be good in this movie, or at least be something. Like I think a lot. I think you're right. She's maybe just playing the script, and the script is nothing.
The script is
Um,
nothing. Exactly.
but I think maybe she is making some of the wrong choices too, because I think a lot of the ways that the frustrating elements of how that character is trying to handle her situation, kind of come from her. They come from the way that Kate Hudson chooses to deliver her lines when she's asking questions of Gina Rowlands about like what's going on in the attic. She's instantly combative. It's instantly like, okay, you're showing your hand in a way that doesn't make sense for this character. And yeah, I don't know that I didn't find them to necessarily be like, oh, these acting choices are bad. Like this is a bad performance, but I think it is dysfunctional for what the movie needs her to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it bad because I don't know what a good performance in this context would look like. It's more just that the script needed to be bailed out, and Rowlands found one way of doing that, and that was to turn it into kitsch.
Yeah.
And Hudson did not find a way of doing that.
No,
That's
because
basically where I'm at.
she had too much writing on this. I don't think she could. And maybe you're right. She didn't necessarily have the tools, but also she was hungry. She had something to prove, and she just wasn't proving it.
And you know, I would compare and contrast this with her current Oscar-nominated performance in Song Sung Blue. Have you seen Song Sung Blue?
I have not seen it yet.
I think it's charming. It's fine. She has a similarly thinly conceived character, and she's solving that character in Song Sung Blue. She's latching onto a bunch of like very obvious outward signifiers so she can kind of hook us with like, oh look, it's Kate Hudson doing Midwestern, whatever, pantomime. And then once we've kind of been hooked into the performance, then we start to see like the emotions that are underneath this kind of very kitschy veneer. Mm-hmm. And so I think she's learned how to survive a script of this nature, but a very different kind of script. Obviously, Song Sung Blue is not a misfiring horror movie, but it is a movie where the character she's playing doesn't really make a ton of sense, and she's making the character make sense. So she's learned as an actress in 20 years, which is what we want.
Yeah, and I do think just one, since we're talking about Kate Hudson, I think that she gets to do the Gina Rowlands thing of just kind of camping up in something that she knows is going to be shitty, because she has a recurring character on Glee in like 2013. She plays this kind of grand dame teacher in the college season at the the New York Drama Academy that Rachel and Kurt go to, and she's just this like really cold as ice kind of bitchy professor character, and she does a mashup of Lady Gaga's Americano and Jennifer Lopez's Dance Again, and it's fucking perfect. She does a really good job at just like chewing the scenery and being good at singing and dancing and just like really having fun and letting loose. And I don't know that that's something that she would have been capable of in 2005.
Yeah, no, I think she is a nervous actor in 2005, which is weird because like How to Lose a Guy has already happened, and that's to me like a very big movie star performance. Like she feels very at ease in front of the camera in that movie. But I don't know, maybe genre just rattled her or something.
Yeah, it is. It's such a...
Because not everyone can do genre.
No.
She's not a screamer.
And that's okay. Let's just...
Yeah.
I think it's probably right that she didn't do very much horror after this.
I agree. And that's what I'm saying. It's not a character flaw. It's just some people can do genre and some people cannot. And she figured that out, and that's why we have not seen a subsequent Kate Hudson horror movie.
Yeah, anyway. That's that. Yeah, sometimes when we do this, we do discover, like, ooh, that actor really still... Like, that actor had it back in the early horror movie days when they were still kind of slumming it. But, not everyone can do horror. And that, great. Congrats.
That's okay.
Congrats on doing Song Sung Blue.
Aaron Kruger can't do horror.
Jesus, but he sure did
try.
try.
He got several chances.
Yeah, I'm very glad to have him in the dad movie sphere now, where I can safely ignore him.
No.
But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for us on this month's episode of Bride of Alternate Ending. Next month you're gonna hear from us one more time with another Oscars skeleton. Next week you are going to be hearing my lovely voice again for the March 2026 preview. But yeah, you can find more episodes of this show and others on alternateending.com. Follow us. Join the Patreon. You can get to vote for what movies we discuss on when we throw up polls over there. You could have You could have picked a different movie than The Skeleton Key. You could have been the deciding vote.
I will say, and we love our Patreons, I'd be curious to know what was going on in your heads.
Yeah,
because we picked better options. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping that they had the kind of same vibe that we did, which is that it was like, oh, this is a thing that we're aware of, but we've never seen it. It seems interesting, and hopefully not just that everybody really loves the Skeleton Key and is gonna hate this episode. But anyway, until next time, bye.